Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 1 Onikakushi. So last episode, we started the Watanagashi, right? The festival. We had fun, they played games, and yes, let's just continue. It's the finale now, I think, right? The finale of the Watanagashi. So there was already a huge group of people gathered at the altar in front of the shrine. The fire at the altar made it as bright as midday and just as hot. There was a pile of futons swarded with sanctified rope in front of the altar. Come to think of it, they did say it was a festival where they did something with the cottons and the futons. Satoko waved her hand from the front row. Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they'd saved. Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin. She got smacked in the head. Rena turned bright red, puffs of steam shooting out of her. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face.
Mion, お前、いつ食らったんだ?
歯とうの間くらいだったかな。
Oh, was Rena the one hit her? Or that hit her? I thought it was Keiichi.
レナ、照れ隠しに友達を殴るのは良くないぞ。
レナ、殴ってないよ。知らないもん。
Okay, silence now. The thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd.
お静かになさいませ。始まりですわ。
It was a solemn ritual. Rika-chan entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by members of the municipal committee. The elders all looked at Rika-chan and clasped in their hands in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was a flash from Tomitaki-san's camera.
リカちゃんが持ってるあのでかいのはなんだ?
祭事用のクワだよ。
A hoe?
巫女さんしか触っちゃいけない神聖な農具なの。
It was an awkward shape for a piece of farm equipment, not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika-chan approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung the hoe skillfully, plowing into the futons. Each and every little movement of this performance probably had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a ritual.
今度はなんだ? 布団叩きかな?
あれはね、人間に代わって冬の病魔を吸い取ってくれたお布団を清めてるの。ケイちゃんのお布団叩きって表現もまあ外れじゃないかね。
Rika-chan's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. I'm sorry. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Satoko looked on, silently lending her support.
心配か?
リカは毎日お餅つきの杵で練習してましたですの。きっとやりきるでございますわ。
Satoko's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika-chan started to sway a little, she held her breath.
ミオンとかは巫女役立候補しなかったのかよ。リカちゃんにあの重さは気の毒だよ。
そりゃ頼まれりゃやるけどね。まあ誰にでも務まるものでもないし。
そうだよな。ミコは清らかじゃないとダメだもんな。
Mion drove her elbow into my side. With the thud of a big drum, Rika-chan gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priest had raised up the cleansed futons like a portable altar, all the spectators stood up. Following after the priest, we all marched on at a moderate pace. They descended the shrine's giant stairs in a
今
line.
度は何が始まるんだ？布団を川で洗濯か？
だから綿流しだってば。
The procession continued right up to the bank of the stream. A fire was stoked high and it was bright as day here too. People started crowding around it and clamoring.
はい、順番。並ぶよ、ケイチ君。
I wondered what was up. Maybe we'd get some holy wine. Red and white bean buns?
食べ物じゃないよ。だから綿。
Ah, but of course. They didn't call it watanagashi for nothing. I finally understood. The municipal committee members pulled out the cotton from inside the futons and balled it up like mochi, handing out it to the people. Rena dove into the line and brought out some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream.
ケイチ君は初めてだから、レナのやり方を真似するんだよ。
She held the cotton in her right hand and waving her hand as if to purify it, she touched it to her forehead, chest, navel, and both thighs.
これを3回繰り返すの。心の中では、お社様ありがとうって唱えるんだよ。
OYASHIRO-SAMA?
お社様ってなんだよ？あの神社の神様の名前か？
うん、南沢の守り神様なの。ご利益もあるけど、たたりもあるんだからね。ちゃんと敬わないとダメだよ。
That sounded like a pretty frightening god. But well, when in Rome. I was officially a resident of Hinamizawa now after all. Doing as Rena showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, OYASHIRO-SAMA. Thank you, OYASHIRO-SAMA. OYASHIRO-SAMA.
これでね、体についてた悪いのがこの綿に吸い取られたの。で、あとは沢の流れにそっと流してね。おしまい。
The flowers of cotton blooming in the water had sucked out all the bad illnesses from Hinamizawa and drifted off, disappearing into the distance. It was wonderful, like those floating lantern festivals I see on TV. The best part though was feeling like this rite of passage had made me a true resident of Hinamizawa. Higurashi when they cry.
初めはちょっとした不安だった。誰かを傷つけたいなんて考えもしなかった。それでも不安は孤独を生んで疑念へと変わり、やがて黒い殺意が心を闇に閉ざしていった。戻らない日常。少年は足を踏み出す。その先が奈落の底だとも気づかずに。
Hey, who was talking?
鬼隠し。
Hey, did you finish the
信
game?
じたいと思う気持ちが生んだ悲劇。流した涙は懺悔か、それとも怨恨か。
Okay, who was talking there? I actually don't know. Because yeah, it was pretty serious, right? While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. I wasn't very lonely though. I know this place now. I guess it's gonna start now. Oh no, we had our fun. It's time for the horror stuff. This is where I live, my home. It's probably better if I just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitake-san's. I headed towards it.
どうですか、富武さん。いい写真はいっぱい撮れましたか？
ああ、おかげさまでね。
Tomitake-san was with a girl. Ooh. I felt a little like I was intruding.
ケイチ君はどうだったかしら？
Yeah, damn, who is this?
お祭りは楽しめた？
From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. I really should try to remember people's faces here. What was her name?
その楽しかったです。
My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name because she gave a light-hearted chuckle.
圭一君はまだ引っ越してきて日が浅いんだそうだね。他の子たちととても親しげだったからとてもそうは思えなかったよ。
Honestly, after hearing the things, we had those texts earlier, right? Then it was kind of creepy, and then seeing these two here, and then their smiles like this, it feels uncomfortable for some reason. I don't know why. If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Rena and Mion.
あなたも今日のお祭りに参加して自分がひなみ沢の人間になれたんだって自覚できたんじゃないかしら？
どうなんでしょうね。
おや、圭一君らしくない返事だね。
I had tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of the people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well.
なんだ。その程度のことで君は疎遠に感じていたのかい？
疎遠なんて大げさなもんじゃないですよ。ただなんていうのか。
That incident at the dam construction site. The fighting over it and other conflicts. That terrible incident they pretended they didn't know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about the good and the bad that happened here.
それを知ることで君が納得するなら、僕の知っている範囲で何でも教えるよ。
Ooh, okay. Tell us. Tomitaki-san smiled that made me more relieved than I've ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said ask me anything though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask.
じゃあダム工事について聞かせてください。ひなみ沢が水没するとかいう大事件だったんですよね。
ダムについては多分ここの人に聞いた方が詳しいと思うけどな。ま、僕が知っている範囲でいいんなら。新聞で読んだ程度だけどね。
Okay, Tomitaki-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory, then he spoke.
ダムの計画が決まったのは7、8年くらい前なんだ。黒部に次ぐ巨大な計画だったと聞いてるね。
There were three major issues in Japan at that time. Improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support the dam construction, so it was singled out.
ダムの完成に伴って生まれるダム湖はかなりの面積になったらしいね。このひなみ沢からずっと上流の矢郷地あたりまでが全部沈むことになったらしい。
しかしなんだって人が住んでるひなみ沢にわざわざダムを作るんですか？もっと他の人が住んでないところに作ればいいのに。
よくは知らないんだが、ダムを作るのに適した地形ってのがあったって聞いてるね。
Of course, there were protests here in Hinamizawa. Rika-chan had said that they had fought. From that choice of words, I had guessed things had turned violent.
裁判にもなったし、議会でも取り上げられたんだ。東京の新聞にも載ったよ。
Mion had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle.
で、 いろいろな不祥事や汚職が発覚してね、ややこしいことになっているうちに工事中止が決まったんだそうだよ。
If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well as ask since I had the chance, just so I would stop thinking about it so much.
バラバラ殺人ってありましたよね。
あったよ。偶然その時期にひなみ沢にいてね。
Oh, he was here. Okay.
だからよく覚えてるよ。
Tomitaki-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question.
ちょうど4年前の今頃だったかな。あれも確か綿流しの日だったね。
Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. It certainly was a tragic incident, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Mio needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it.
当時はダムのトラブルの末期だったからね。お社様のたたりだって言ってずいぶん騒がれたんだよ。
お社様のたたりか。
OYASHIRO-SAMA was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recalled correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa.
若い人たちはそうは思わなかったみたいだけれど。
Honestly, this girl is creepy, man. Why is her smile like this?
お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだと疑わなかったみたいね。
But it seems the elderly in the village never doubted that it was Oyashiro-Sama's curse. The woman with Tomitaki-san chuckled mischievously. Tomitaki-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious that I ended up laughing as well.
でも今ではどうかしらね。結構いるんじゃないかしら。若い人にも。
いるって何がですか？
信じてる人だよ。お社様のたたり。
The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern.
その後ね、毎年起こるんだよ。決まって今頃にね。
怒るって何が？
Tomitaki-san paused for a second, as if to build up some suspense, then he whispered to me, as if someone might have been listening.
毎年綿流しの日になるとね。
Okay.
誰かが死ぬんだよ。
Somebody dies. So someone is gonna die. Now.
バラバラ殺人の翌年の綿流しの日。ひなみ沢の住人でありながらダムの誘致派だった男が旅行先で崖下の濁流に転落して死亡した。奥さんに至っては死体も上がってない。
ひなみ沢の人間でありながらダムに賛成していた男ですからね。
Oh, he was from Hinamizawa, but he liked the dam still. So those people probably killed him.
事故当時、お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだとささやきあったものよ。
The woman chuckled mischievously again.
さらに翌年、綿流しの晩、今度は神社の神主が原因不明で急死した。
Oh, so it's random. Now a Shinto priest died.
奥さんはその晩のうちに沼に受水自殺した。
What?
神社の神主って今日のこの神社の神主ですか？
That woman nodded.
村人たちはお社様のお怒りを鎮めきれなかったんだって噂したわね。
さらに翌年、これもまた渡流しの晩、今度は近所の主婦が撲殺体で発見された。
Housewife this time. Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife been involved in some way too?
その通りよ。
The woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacingly. Honestly though, isn't this Keiichi's thoughts, right? Why are you answering me? I don't understand.
被害者の一家はね、その2年前に転落死したダム誘致派の男の弟一家に当たるのよ。
Younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before.
弟本人はまだ生きてるらしいね。でもやはりかなり気にしてね、近隣の町に引っ越してったらしいよ。
For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the center of it all. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as a coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year, on the day of the watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. The woman chuckled again as she picked up on what was I thinking. It felt like she was saying maybe there was, maybe frightened him, stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily, so I pressed Tomitaki-san to continue, a beat of impatience and irritation in my tone.
で
This lady, man. She's super suspicious.
その翌年の綿流しの晩にもまた人が死ぬわけですよね。今度は誰です？
さーてね、圭一君は誰だと思うかな？
Wait, what did he say? Okay.
ああ？
The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off.
はぐらかさないでくださいよ。俺は結構真剣に。
まあまあ圭一君、落ち着いて。
Oh my god, I'm feeling something's gonna happen now. I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking.
別にはぐらかしたつもりはないんだよ、圭一君。つまりその翌年の綿流しってのは、つまり
今日よ。
Oh. When Tomitaki-san hesitated to say it, she finished it for him. I broke into cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed.
みんな口にしないけど、今夜また何か起こるんじゃないかって思ってる。
こんなにお祭りで賑わってるのに？
あのね、去年の被害者の主婦は不信心者だったらしくてね、綿流しのお祭りに参加しなかったらしいの。
今年の綿流しに参加しないとお社様の怒りに触れるかもしれないって噂、圭一君なら聞いてるんじゃないかい？
I never even heard a whisper of that rumor.
じゃあみんなのお祭りの参加はたたりを恐れて？
そうなんじゃないかと思うね。今年の綿流しは例年になく参加者が多いよ。
やっぱりみんな怖いんでしょうね。
Stop talking like that, miss. What is your problem?
お社様のたたり。
I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where's Keiichi's parents, by the way? No, don't tell me, come on. Where we've made progress in all the scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood. Where black and white television has been eradicated and we've sent men to the moon. Even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society?
桜ってことで近隣の町の子供会をかなり招待したらしいけど。
What?
やっぱり一連の事件を受けてあんまり参加はなかったみたいね。人集めに苦労してるって町会の人がぼやいてたもの。
警察もね、過去の事件は全て別個のもので関連性はないとしてるみたいだけどね。警備ってことで私服警官をだいぶ立たせてたみたいだよ。
It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this watanagashi, everything would have been over with and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't act like nothing happened. And we would have all gotten back to life as usual.
やっぱり刺激が強すぎたかしら。
The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed.
いえ、そんな全然。
I had tried to act strong, but it just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitaki-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor.
まさか圭一君、たたりなんて信じてるわけじゃないだろう。
そりゃまあ。
全ての事件が原因不明で犯人も手口も謎っていうなら僕もたたりを疑ってもいいよ。だけど実際には違う。どの事件もちゃんと警察が捜査して真相や犯人を究明してる。
Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse.
例えば一番最初のバラバラ殺人言ったよね。犯人は一人を残して全員逮捕されてる。残った一人だって時間の問題さ。
I mean, could it be that last guy killing all those people in this day?
動機だって酒の上での口論からと判明してる。
The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated.
たたりなんかじゃない。だろう？
That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all.
次の誘致派の夫婦の事故死だってそうさ。恨みを買う立場だったからね。警察が特に入念に捜査したと思うよ。それで発表は事故。他殺じゃない。
でもまた綿流しの日に起きたんですよね。
考えてもみなよ圭一君。ひなみ沢に敵が多かった彼が地元のお祭りにおちおち参加できると思うかい？彼にとっては綿流しの時期は特にひなみ沢に居づらい時期に違いないよ。だからわざわざこの時期に旅行をし、意図的にひなみ沢を離れようとしたんじゃないかな。
It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitaki-san was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince
じ
myself.
ゃあ富武さん、その次に死んだ神主さんはどうです？原因不明の奇病だって。それもまたしても綿流しの日に。
神主さんはもっと説明がつきやすいよ。綿流しのお祭りは神主さんにとっては年に一度の大行事。過労に体調不良が重なったんだろうね。あるいは もともと持病持ちだったのかもしれない。
でも奇病ですよ。でもこの医学の進歩した時代に原因不明なんて。
尾ひれだよ。噂が噂を呼んだだけさ。2年立て続けに事件が起これば誰だって過敏になるよ。急死は確かに不自然だったかもしれないけど、こういう死に方をすると必ず警察が検視をする。で、事件性は発見されなかったんだろう。本当に偶然の病死なんだよ。
確か神主の奥さんが自殺してますよね。じゃあこれは？
すでに説明した通りさ。3年目の事件に村人たちは動揺していた。信心深い人たちはすぐにたたりだと決めてかかったのさ。もちろん神主の奥さんもね。自殺の際に死んでお社様の怒りをお鎮めするみたいな遺書が見つかったらしいし。
じゃあ次の主婦の事件は？またしても綿流しの日に。
この事件は犯人も逮捕されて解決してるよ。一種の異常者でひなみ沢のたたり騒ぎを面白がって再現したと自供してる。
じゃあ次の年の事件は？
Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tomitaki-san gave a hearty laugh.
もう何も起こらないよ。今度こそね。お社様のたたりなんてもともとない。一連の偶然をあると信じている人たちがそうだと吹聴しているだけさ。
My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking.
僕は圭一君がひなみ沢をとても好きだと思ってることをよく知ってるよ。仮にお社様のたたりが実在したとしても、そんな圭一君にたたりがあるなんてとても思えないね。
I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Rena and Mion tomorrow with a smile or the same smile as always. They probably also like tonight to end without incident so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock as she was sitting on.
さてと、そろそろ私は戻らないとね。
おっと、僕も少々長くおしゃべりしすぎたかな。
There were so few people compared to the crowd from before. I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed we'd talked for a better part of an hour.
圭一君もお友達と一緒に来たんでしょ？みんなを探したら？
そうだった。みんな俺のことを探してるかもしれない。
女の子に探させるなんてなかなかの罪人だね。
じゃあね、おやすみなさい、圭一君。
Okay, this woman, man. We're gonna write her down. She's very suspicious.
次郎さんもね。また後ほど。
Tomitaki-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. After dusting her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people, still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. Okay, we're back. Keiichi-kun. In her place, Rena came running over. Thank God we have this music now. It was kinda intense earlier. I could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil.
悪い悪いケイちゃん、すっかり話し込んじゃっててさ。
I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even.
富武さんもご一緒でございましたの。ちょうどよかったですわ。 今日の射的の結果発表がありますです。
ああ、そうだったね。結局ビリは僕なのかな。
In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitake-san. However, she did her little meeping cry in front of the owner and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently.
思うにリカちゃんって結構タヌキだろ。
圭一の言ってる意味がわかりませんです。
なわけでビリは富武さんに決まり。
Everyone cheered and applauded Tomitake-san, smiled really slightly bewildered. He said Tomitake-san is dead last.
じゃあ富武さん、覚悟はいいかな？罰ゲーム。
And someone is gonna die, right, in Watanagashi? In today, basically? Don't tell me it's gonna be Tomitake.
え？あ、忘れてた。
You're too naive, Tomitake-san. This is why we got to avoid losing in our club. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that.
ミオン、武士の情けだ。
Also, the punishment is to draw on his face.
せめて水星にしてやれ。優勢は辛い。
優勢じゃないとダメだよ。お洗濯したら落ちちゃうじゃない。
なんだいお手柔らかに頼むよ。
All of us pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with the marker in one hand.
キュッキュッキュッ。
But she didn't write on Tomitake-san's face, she wrote on the shirt he was wearing. You'd better have your big break this year, Mion. Rena took up the marker next. Show me your next photos next time, okay? It was a little heartwarming and I just had to laugh.
これじゃあ罰ゲームってより寄せ書きじゃないか。
私は甘くはありませんのよ。ちゃんと罰ゲームできますわ。
Dead last, Satoko. Try harder next time, Rika.
圭一さんもどうぞでございます。
I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitake-san was silent the entire time. At first, he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face.
これを着たまま帰郷するのも罰ゲームのうちに入るのかな。
もちろん。ちゃんと着たまま家に帰ってね。
次に来る時にも着てきてくれるといいな。いいな。
He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red.
わかった。次に来る時もこれを着てくるよ。約束する。
Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift, possibly for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitake-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomitake-san noticed her too and knew it was time to leave.
お連れ様がお待ちみたいじゃん。そろそろお時間かな。
そうみたいだね。
Tomitake-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitake-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They had done the same thing many times before.
行っちゃったね。
じゃ、うちらも引き上げるかね。
Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Satoko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. With Rena and Mion. The walk back was quite lively with the talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Rena and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Then we got to my house and I parted ways with Rena as
こ
well.
んな時間だけど一人で大丈夫か？
全然平気だよ。近いし、走っていくし。
変な奴がいたら大声出せよ。
出したら、助けに来てくれるのかな？
聞こえたらな。
聞こえるくらい大きな声を出すね。
Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine in that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Rena's cheerful presence disappeared and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a soul mentioned even under their breath. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all end up being just crazy talk. Nothing will happen and nothing bad and nothing at
ど
all.
うしたのケイチ、そんなところで。中に入りなさい。風邪をひくわよ。
It was my
母さ
mom.
んは行った？綿流しのお祭り。
結局お父さんが起きなかったからね。行きそびれちゃったわ。残念。
Mom stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. But yeah, his mom did his mom go to Watanagashi though? Oh, okay, we ended. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of tips. Oh yeah, let's check all of it. Hojo couple's falling incident. So all of the things that Tomitake-san said, we're gonna see it now in the news. From the June 1980 edition, on the afternoon of XX at 2 p.m., office employee XXX and his wife of Inamizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of XXX at 7 p.m. that evening. His wife has yet to be found. The search has ran into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon Free from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory that XX leaned on had broken, causing them to fall. The groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to the facility deterioration, and if park maintenance was performed properly. So it's very short though. Yeah, pretty much just the bulletin, I guess, from the news. From the June 1981 edition, on the afternoon of XX around 10 p.m. in the X district of Hinamizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture, the Shinto priest of Furo the shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. Also, after XXX death, his wife XXXXX went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. The police and local youth association continued the search. However, giving the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onikakushi swamp is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. The housewife murder. It wasn't reported in the newspaper. Wait, what? That was it? Okay. Radio log.
3号です。感度良好。
How do you pronounce this? Oishi? Oishi.
はい、3号了解。 今、先生が到着しました。運びたいそうですがどうしますか？どうぞ。了解しました。先生に任せてください。はい、了解です。応援も到着しました。先に写真撮らせた方がいいんじゃないですか？外車、もう無駄だと思いますし。
That was it? Okay, very short tips. So I guess that Oishi guy, maybe we'll see him whenever, right? But yes, there's a lot of stuff we learned today, right? This with Tomitake-san and that lady friend he got there. That very suspicious lady. That is suspect number 1 for now. Yeah, she was very suspicious, and the way she was smiling, right? She knows something. She definitely knows something. So, in Watanagashi, I mean, every year someone dies, right? So there's someone that is definitely gonna die. I mean, come on now. It's a horror game. Of course, there's someone is gonna die. So my guess is, I mean, they keep saying death, right? You're dead last to Tomitake. So maybe him. Maybe they're just kind of like hinting it. We'll have to see. But if someone does die, we'll see it next episode, right? Because yeah, it's the day after Watanagashi, right? We'll have to see. But yeah, today was like all of the episodes were great, I mean. But today, yeah, we had a lot of stuff revealed, and I think we're starting to go onto, how do I put this? Onto the offensive. No, but I guess it's more is gonna be revealed now, right? After the watanagashi, or what do they call it? The ritual, right? That festival that they were doing in the river. Then we had some text there, right? So I guess it's gonna be starting. So every episode we're gonna be doing, something is gonna happen now. Compared to the earlier episodes that were just having fun, right? Pretty much with all the characters. They made it very, very cheerful, feels good moments, slice of life moments, and now I guess it's gonna be real. Starting now, and starting next episode, right? We're gonna have to see. I'm getting very excited, honestly. Yes, I'm getting very, very excited for this one. I like it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So next episode, we're gonna continue this and do more of Higurashi, the first chapter, Onikakushi. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.